What's up, Broncos Country? You won't believe what went down in Week 8 of the NFL. Our Broncos delivered a spectacle that left everyone's jaws on the floor, and I'm going to tell you all the details of this insane week that completely changed the landscape of the league. Stick with me till the end because what happened with our team is going to give you goosebumps. Week 8 of the season was one of those we won't forget, family. It was a week packed with emotion, impossible comebacks, dominant performances, and games that defined the destiny of several franchises. And in the midst of all that, our Denver Broncos showed everyone that we're not here to play around. We're talking about a performance that put the team back in the spotlight of the American Conference. And if you missed any play, relax, because I'm going to update you on everything that went down in this insane week. Before diving into the details, let me ask you something. Do you really believe the Broncos can go far this season? Because after what I saw in Week 8, I can guarantee you that this team has a hunger for victory we haven't seen in a long time. And look, it's not just me saying this. The entire NFL is keeping an eye on what we're building. Let's start with what really matters, our Broncos' performance. The team took the field against an opponent that many people thought would be easy, but who actually tested every fiber of our roster. And you know what was most impressive? The adjustment ability that the coaching staff demonstrated. In the first half, things weren't flowing the way we wanted. The defense was leaving some gaps. The offensive line had trouble opening holes for the running game, and the passing attack wasn't connecting like it should. But then, family, what separates great teams from mediocre ones happened. At halftime, adjustments were made, and when the third quarter started, it was like a different team on the field. The defense became impenetrable, pressuring the opposing quarterback on practically every snap. The linebackers were flying across the field, making tackles for loss. And the secondary didn't give the opposing wide receivers a single chance to breathe. It was clinical, it was dominant, it was Broncos Country showing its strength. And on offense, my friend, the show was even bigger. The quarterback showed veteran maturity, making perfect reads of opposing defenses, distributing the ball to all available targets, and when he needed to use his legs, he ran like his life depended on it. The wide receivers made sensational receptions, some on third down situations that kept drives alive and ended up resulting in points on the scoreboard. And the running back carrying the ball with strength and determination racked up rushing yards that were fundamental to controlling the clock and keeping the opposing defense always on their heels. What impressed me most was this group's resilience. When the opposing team managed to score and close the gap on the scoreboard, a lot of people could have panicked, but not our Broncos. They stayed calm, executed the game plan perfectly, and responded with a devastating drive that sealed the game. We're talking about more than 8 minutes of possession, converting crucial downs, making the opponent use all their timeouts, and in the end, putting more points on the scoreboard to close out the victory categorically. Now, check out the standings after this week. The Broncos are positioned in a way that puts the team in direct competition for a playoff spot. And we're not talking about just any spot, family. With the way the team is playing, with confidence growing every week, we're talking about a team that can make a lot of noise in the postseason. The division is competitive, nobody can deny that. But the Broncos have shown they have what it takes to compete with anyone. Let me tell you about the other games of the week, because there was crazy stuff happening throughout the league. In the National Conference, there was a matchup between two heavyweight teams that ended in a way nobody expected. The favorite was dominating the entire game, controlling possession, scoring points with ease, and it looked like it would be an easy victory. But then, in the final minutes of the fourth quarter, the team that was losing woke up. Their quarterback started connecting impossible passes. The defense managed to force a fumble that completely changed the momentum of the game. And on the last drive, with seconds on the clock, they scored the winning touchdown. It was enough to leave any football fan standing in their living room screaming at the television. And there was another game that was pure domination from start to finish. One of the league's most traditional teams simply steamrolled their opponent. We're talking about a defense that didn't let the opposing offense do absolutely anything. It was sacks after sacks, interceptions at crucial moments, and this team's offense took advantage of every opportunity to put points on the scoreboard. The final score was humiliating for whoever lost, but it showed that this team is coming on strong to fight for the conference title. Tell me, Broncos Country, what do you think of this season so far? Do you believe our team has what it takes to go all the way? And look, there was a game in Week 8 that caught everyone's attention for its physical intensity. Two extremely aggressive defenses faced each other, and the result was a battlefield game. Every yard gained was hard-fought, every first down was celebrated like it was a touchdown. The score stayed low, but the quality of the game was sky-high. For those who like to see dominant defense, the front line putting the quarterback on the ground, and safeties making violent tackles, this was the game of the week. But going back to our Broncos, I need to highlight some individual performances that were simply spectacular. Our quarterback is growing every week. His confidence is sky-high, his decisions are increasingly accurate, and he's showing he can carry the team on his back when necessary. And it's not just him, family. The wide receivers are playing at an insane level. Routes are being executed perfectly. They're winning jump balls in the air, and after the catch, they're fighting for extra yards that make all the difference. The offensive line deserves a paragraph just for itself. These guys are creating huge holes for the running game, and even more importantly, they're protecting the quarterback in a way that allows him to have time in the pocket to make his reads and find open receivers. When you have an offensive line working like this, the entire offense flows naturally. And look, it's not easy to build a consistent line in the NFL, but it seems we've finally found the right chemistry. If you're true Broncos Country, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single play. Hit that notification bell because every day there's hot content about our team. On the defensive side, family, things are working in a way we haven't seen in years. The defensive ends are constantly pressuring, the linebackers are reading plays before they even happen, and the secondary is locking down receivers like they're soccer defenders on the field. There was a play in Week 8 that sums it all up. Third down. The opponent needed just a few yards to convert. Everyone in the stadium knew it was going to be a pass. And even so, our cornerback played such perfect coverage that the quarterback didn't even have the courage to try the throw. Result? Punt and another opportunity for the Broncos offense, and the backup players are also contributing significantly. It's no use having just 11 starters playing well. In the NFL, you need depth in the roster because injuries happen, fatigue accumulates, and it's in these moments that backups need to be ready to come in and maintain the level of play. And our backups are doing exactly that. When they're called upon, they deliver, maintain the intensity, and don't let the team drop in production. Now let's talk about the overall league standings after this Week 8. The American Conference is total madness. You have traditional teams fighting not to lose rhythm, teams that were bets to go far struggling to recover from bad starts, and teams like our Broncos proving they were underestimated in the preseason. The fight for each position is fierce, and any slip-up can cost dearly down the road. That's why every victory is worth gold at this point in the season. In the National Conference, the situation isn't much different. There are divisions where the leader has pulled away, dominating absolutely and already practically guaranteed in the playoffs. But there are other divisions where all four teams are separated by just 1 or 2 wins, and any of them can finish in first place. This makes the league more exciting because you really don't know what's going to happen from one week to the next. And check out something interesting. Several teams that started the season poorly are reacting now. This shows that in the NFL, nothing is defined in the first few weeks. You can start slow and grow as the season progresses, finding your identity, adjusting the tactical scheme, and coming on strong at the moment that matters most. The Broncos are a perfect example of this. We've had ups and downs, but the important thing is that we're improving consistently, and that's what separates playoff teams from teams that will spend the holidays at home watching others play. Week 8 also brought some concerning injuries to various teams in the league. And here's a hard truth about football. Injuries are part of the game. It's a violent contact sport where athletes weighing 200 pounds or more collide at maximum speed. That's why having a competent medical department and a roster with depth is so crucial. Fortunately, the Broncos came out of this week relatively unscathed. which is a blessing considering the physical intensity of the game. Family. Have you noticed how the coaching staff is doing an exceptional job? The halftime adjustments, the decisions on when to go for it on fourth down, when to challenge a play, all of this is being executed with surgical precision. And look, it's not easy being a coach in the NFL. You're under constant pressure, every decision is analyzed by millions of people, and one mistake can cost not only the game, but even your job. But our coaches are showing they have nerves of steel and know exactly what they're doing. And that pressure on the opposing quarterback? Sensational. The Broncos' defensive line is playing at a level that few teams in the league can match. They're not just getting sacks, they're hurrying the quarterback, forcing him to make hasty decisions, to throw the ball early. And this is resulting in turnovers that completely change the course of games. That's what championship-winning defenses do, family. Special teams also deserve recognition. The kicker is nailing field goals from impressive distances. The punter is flipping the field in the Broncos' favor with strategic kicks. And the return team is creating good field position opportunities. It may seem like a detail, but in the NFL, special teams win and lose games. How many times have we seen a missed field goal at the end decide a game? Or a punt return for a touchdown turn the game upside down? That's why every aspect of the game needs to be working perfectly. Now, thinking further ahead in the season, the Broncos have a schedule ahead that will truly test whether this team is for real or if we're just having a lucky moment. Coming up are matchups against division rivals, road games in difficult stadiums, and matchups against some of the best teams in the league. But you know what? I'm confident. From what I saw in Week 8, this team has character, has technical ability, has competent coaching, and has something that can't be measured in statistics, a champion's heart. And another thing that's becoming clear is the connection between the quarterback and his receivers. They're developing that chemistry that only comes with playing time together, with repetitions in practice, and with mutual trust. You see the quarterback looking one way and throwing the other, because he knows the receiver will be exactly where he should be. That's beautiful to see, family. It's football being played at the highest level. The fans also deserve special recognition. The support the team receives at home games is deafening. The stadium becomes a pressure cooker. The noise disrupts the opposing team's communication. And this gives the Broncos a real advantage. That's why doing well at home is so important during the regular season. You secure those wins that will make a difference down the line when they're defining who qualifies for the playoffs. And you know what's coolest about this whole journey? Seeing the young players developing. The NFL is a league where you need to constantly renew the roster, bring in fresh blood, develop talents that were drafted, and the Broncos are doing this very well. There are rookies contributing right away. There are second- and third-year players taking on leadership roles. And there are veterans teaching the younger ones how to behave as professionals on and off the field. Discipline is also on another level. Few silly penalties, few mental errors, clean execution of plays. This is a direct reflection of a well-trained, well-prepared team that studies the opponent during the week and takes the field knowing exactly what they need to do to win. And when you combine discipline with talent, the result is a dangerous team that nobody wants to face. Looking toward the playoffs, family, let's be honest, the road will be difficult. The American Conference has very strong teams with rosters full of stars with a winning tradition. But if there's one thing football teaches, it's that on game day, anything can happen. Favoritism doesn't matter. Regular season statistics don't matter. What matters is who shows up on Sunday and gets the job done. And I've seen a Broncos team that's ready to do exactly that. The next few weeks will define a lot about the season's destiny. Every game is a final. Every victory brings us closer to the goal. Every loss can complicate us in the standings. But with the way this team is playing, with the winning mentality being built, I genuinely believe the Broncos can surprise a lot of people and go much further than analysts are predicting. So, Denver Broncos family, what's your opinion about this season? Do you think the Broncos will get a playoff spot? Which players are impressing you most? What needs to improve for the team to go even further? Comment down below because I want to know what Broncos Country is thinking. Drop a like if you're believing in this team's potential. Share the video with all your friends who bleed orange and blue, and if you're not subscribed yet, don't waste time, because every day there's exclusive content about our Broncos here on the channel. Let's go together, Broncos Country. The season is just starting to get interesting, and I'm sure we'll still have many reasons to celebrate. See you in the next video with more analysis, more emotion, and more content about our beloved team. Thanks, family. Until next time.